Again, this is the Katie Weaver Show, and if you are listening live, it is the 14th of January at 11 a.m. Pacific. If you're listening to an archive or a replay, I would also like to welcome you to the show. I don't know what it's doing at your house, but it is blizzarding at mine. Not right this very second, but the wind's blowing good, and it looks like the next round of snow is just about here. So we've had quite the weather the last few days. Yesterday, it was bad enough that they actually canceled school, which is pretty rare around here. I mean, we can get a lot of snow and cold before they cancel, but it was that bad. So they made them go to school today, and already some of the outlying communities have had to throw in the towel and send kids home. So, of course, my kid is hoping beyond hope that with any stroke of luck, our district will do the same, but she's probably not going to get that lucky. Oh, snow days. When you're a kid, what do snow days mean? Right? Sleeping in late, watching TV, maybe doing something fun. When I was a kid, we lived 2 blocks from a city park that had all of the good sledding hills. So we would bundle up in all of our gear and drag our sleds over to the hill and sled for hours and come home frozen to death. And my mom would always make hot chocolate and popcorn and turn on a movie and, take care of these dummies that went outside and froze themselves to death. But we loved doing that. That's a memory of mine that I cherish for sure. So, but as an adult, what does a snow day mean? Well, for someone who works at home like me, not much, except for that I had a kid home yesterday and I made her wash the dishes. So there you go. Happy snow day. I did take her out to lunch too, though. So, I mean, there is that. But anyhow, it's been pretty wild around here and gorgeous and quiet. When the snow falls like that, everything gets quieter. It just absorbs sound, I think, because the noise, just the road noise and outdoor noise of whatever sort is quieter when there's a lot of snow on the ground. And I always kind of cherish that. There's really magical feeling to stepping out on the front porch, especially at night when the world is pretty quiet and dark and the snow has settled and it's quiet outside in a way that you never feel that kind of quiet outside. So I'm kind of enjoying it, to be honest. The piggies are not. The piggies have been pretty interesting, naughty, and funny the last few days. I'll tell you a little about that. First, I realized that I did not invite you to the chat room, and I should do so. So if you would like to come into the chat room, head over to 12radio.com, number 2 radio.com, click on the chat button, and you will be redirected into the Facebook chat. If you've not joined before, you'll want to ask for entry, and Scott, our brilliant and talented producer, is standing by, and he'll gladly let you in the room. So that's how you do that. You'll see my banner at the top of the page. That's where we are chatting. That's the place to ask for a reading, and I am planning on readings today. So if you need some help, this is a great day to ask for it. You will also see a live stream. I'm live streaming this event through Facebook Live in that chat room, and you're welcome to join me there as well. So if you'd rather watch than listen, you can do that there. If you would like to watch the live stream later on, you'll find it uploaded over at Domestic Mystic on YouTube. So pretty easy to find me. And of course, I'm always here. All right. I have a lot of things to tell you guys today, but do you want to hear some piggy hijinks? You probably do. If you don't know me, I have 2 mini pigs that live in the house with us. And they are, what are they now? They're about 1.5 years and about 2 actually, and about 1.5 now. So these little piggies have been earning their chops around here. I don't mean that literally at all, but it's interesting living with pigs. Not unlike living with kids, but, these pigs have some habits that are sometimes a little interesting to try to get your head around, particularly as an animal communicator like myself. And so they're really interesting to work with. Our pigs are litter box trained, and but they mostly go outside. They're a lot like dogs, more like dogs than cats in some ways. But occasionally at night, one of them will use their litter box. But for the very most part, they have a piggy door right outside of our back, right off my office, actually. And so they can come and go as they choose. And they go outside. In the summer, they like to spend a lot of time outside. In the winter, they do not. They hate the snow and the cold. And so we mostly deal with them in the house. Well, our little sow has been really bored the last few days. Pigs need entertainment. They're not just, you know, they do sleep a lot, but in the meantime, they need some things to do. And in the summer, they do all of that out in the yard. They dig. Oh, you don't want to see my yard. All of the holes in my yard. It's fine. I don't really care, actually. I've never been out to have, like, win the most beautiful yard award, but they've definitely done a number on the yard. But again, they're outside, they're having fun. We mowed our backyard one time last summer because they did it all for us. So, hey, they served a really great purpose. But anyway, so she's bored. Our little male, he gets bored too, but not like she does. When she gets bored, she starts doing naughty things, getting into things, knocking things over, just hassling. So she has this cool ball that you put treats in. You put her piggy food in it, her little pellets, and put it on the floor, and she has to roll it around to get her snacks out. We call it her rolly ball. And when you get snacks out into the rolly ball, and I always, if she's acting like she's bored and naughty and getting into stuff, of course, I'll get out the rolly ball. And so I had the rolly ball out a few days ago, and she's had this really weird tooth that grew in sideways. And I keep wondering, what are we going to do about this tooth? Are we going to have it extracted or cut or, what? Because our little boar is growing tusks, and his tusks were, I thought, removed when he was a baby, but he's growing them again, and we'll have to have him cut at some point. You don't want him to have tusks because they could hurt you or each other or, teeny little chihuahuas that they hassle with. So they can't have tusks. But anyway, it was Fiona growing this weird tooth. And I made her rolly ball, and she played really wild with it in all over the house for quite a while till she had all of the snacks out. And then I noticed she had some blood kind of dripping out of her mouth and rolling down her chin. And I got her to open up her mouth and looked, and she had broken off the tooth. So she played so wild with the rolly ball that she snapped her tooth off. But, it dealt with the tooth. And it didn't stop her from playing rolly ball and from eating. But anyway, this morning I made her a rolly ball, and poor little Zig is just watching. And I realized, why doesn't Zig have his own rolly ball? Because she won't let him play. So, 2 minutes later, a miracle happened on Amazon, and tomorrow Zig will have his own rolly ball. So I'm sure that'll create some chaos, but hey, they need it. But Fiona's latest stunt has been that she has gotten enamored with rolling chairs. And it's usually in my office. She'll come down to my office. She puts her front hooves up on my rolling chair and runs it all over my office, crashing into plants and dressers and the buffet and, her brother or whatever, but she'll run it all over here, crashing into stuff until she tips it over. And once it's tipped over, then she'll play with it forever, spinning the casters, the wheels, with her snout. She'll spin them and spin them and spin them. And then she climbs on the chair and over the chair. And occasionally she'll try and get clear up and sit on top of the chair. She is killing me with this chair. It is so funny. And I wish I had some footage to share. But if you catch her doing it, she'll run out of here. Because essentially she knows she's not supposed to be vandalizing my stuff. But she's having a blast. So this morning, my daughter told me that she had to get up in the night and get after her because Fiona was rolling Scott's office chair all over his office, which is right next to Mars's room, and crashing it all over the house, doing the same thing. And so she actually got up and laid on the couch so that she would lay with her and sleep for a while because she was driving her crazy. She's just bored. And she's discovered that these chairs are some fun form of entertainment and locomotion, and she's having a blast. So that's what's new in Piggyland. I'm totally entertained by it, until she breaks something, and then we'll have to fight. But at this point, she's just having fun with the rolly chair. She's really cracking me up. So that's what's new in piggy hijinks around here. It is my son's birthday. now 20-year-old son, our oldest, is 20 today. I can't even believe it. It's just, where the hell does time go? When he was born, people said to me, enjoy it, it goes fast. Oh my gosh, were they ever right? I wasn't prepared to hear that. I always kind of thought, what the hell are they talking about? Or, yeah, okay, but I can't wait for these kids to be out of diapers, so let it go faster, you know. But ultimately, now I'm looking at it going, geez, I have a 19-year-old, or well, a 20-year-old now, an 18-year-old, 17-year-old. Where has it all gone? Yesterday, the youngest, Mars, our 17-year-old, and I dove into the process of helping her find a college to play softball at. So she's a junior, so now is when you really start hitting recruiting hard. And she's had some good responses back. It's been super exciting. And I remember when we did the whole recruiting thing with my son, how emotional it is and how easy it is to get wrapped up in what other people think of you. And so we had a very long conversation yesterday about not getting lost in the process, not getting your feelings hurt, and just recognizing that the right thing will come through for you, just like it did for her brother. Oh, it's just one of those life lessons. I think that every once in a while we have to call that one back up. And for a 17-year-old, well, I handled Micah's recruiting stuff. He didn't do very much of it. I did most of it. So I was the one that got knocked down by the rejections or the lack of responses or, you know, things of that nature. But I also think I was more excited than he was when he had offers too, because I did do it all for him. I did it for him because he was a 3-sport athlete. He didn't have time to do it. And also, you know, get great grades and hold all of the balls in the air that we expect from these kids these days. But with Mars, I decided I think I made a mistake with Micah. He should have been more involved. He should have been more on top of the process. And so I've made her be more involved and do more of the work and have the recruiting app on her phone so that she gets a notification whenever a coach reaches out or looks at her profile or whatever it is. And wow, this is going to be an interesting process, you guys. Lots of life lessons involved in this for her, and I'm sure for me, just like Micah's was. But here we go. But you know what I know? I know that she will find the right home. She'll find the right softball home in the right situation. She'll probably have a few different offers, I hope, to choose from, and she'll pick the right thing. Or at the end of the day, she'll decide that college softball isn't for her and she won't play at all. And I have to also be totally cool with the idea that that could happen. It's completely okay, right? So that's what's new in this world. Lots of stuff, right? It's crazy. Okay. I want to take a look. Well, I have a couple of things actually. So I have a really fun new project. It's actually a little collab between Scott and myself, but we have a new scope over at When to Listen. So Scott is helping me to get the scopes researched and put together, and then I am getting them written, edited, and posted. And so it's really fun because he really wanted me to get a new scope going. I haven't had one over there for quite a while. And I tried to cop out and say that the daily dish is as much effort as I have in me, and he countered me with an offer of help. So I appreciate him very much, and we have a new scope that has gone live. You can find it over at one2listen.com. Right at the top of the page, there is a bar of horoscopes. You'll see them there. And if you just click on the sign that you want to read, you'll see all of the scopes that we have showing. And we have a few weeklies and we have a few monthlies. So let's take a look at CAP since it is CAPy season. So we have 3 weekly scopes. We have Empowerment Scopes by Kelly Whetstone. We have Kaleidoscopes by Kat, and we have Venus Scopes by me. And then we have 3 monthlies as well. Bitch Scopes, Merlin Scopes, and Star Scopes. So I'm assuming that you guys know about our scopes, but it occurred to me that maybe some of you don't. The scopes are super fun. So they're written by advisors here at One2Listen from all of our different angles. So some of us channel, some of us are astrologers, some of us are maybe pulling a card or writing from some other different platform. but it's just different means to the same kind of information, and it's a lot of fun. I like our scopes for various reasons. One is that I always read the scopes for myself and Scott and all of our kids every month, and then moving down through the week, just so that I have a good heads up of what's going on with them. I have often recommended that you take a look at scopes of coworkers that you might have challenges with, or other people that you need a little bit of help with, maybe. You know how it goes. So the scopes are fun. So I hope that you have a chance to go over and look at them, but I'm going to just read you the Venus scope for this week. So Venus scope for Capricorn for the week. Look to improve your relationships in your community, as there could be a dream or wish ready to explode into the open. You will want to keep your ego out of all relationship decisions and use your heart instead. Be responsible for relationships. Oh, I'm sorry. Be responsible for everything that you do and say, as this will bring greater impact to your relationships. So, an important week of mindfulness and of also growing your community. And community can certainly mean where you live, but it also could mean your spiritual community, or your religious community, or your friend community, or your your work community. It could mean a lot of things. And so bear that in mind this week, Cap, as you move through the week, that say what you mean and mean what you say. Be clear with your words and work on building what you already have. Yeah. So that right there is the Venus scope for Capricorn for this week. I'm not going to read them all to you, obviously, but I would love it if you checked yours out and let me know what you think. So I'm excited to have a scope back. Kind of fun. It's been a while. I had hearth scopes years ago, and they were a weekly as well. And then I moved on to other projects and just had never come back to scopes. So thank you to Scott for the shot in the arm and also the help that I needed to get it going. So it's all good. Also, okay, well, let's also take a look at Luminous. Some of you probably just received it in your inbox if you subscribe to it, because I literally just published it a few minutes before we got on the air. So one of those days, and I don't mean that in a bad way, just a lot of stuff going on. I posted a link in the chat room, but if you would like to look at Luminous with me, head over to katie-weaver.com and click on the Luminous Magazine button, and it's right there. If you're looking at it on my website, there's a little spot at the bottom that kind of looks like 4 arrows. If you click on that, it'll pull it up into a full screen. Otherwise, it seems like it might be impossible to read. Way too small, especially for this lady's eyes. All righty, well, here we go. I called the magazine this week the Happy Birthday Edition because we just celebrated our 3rd birthday here at Luminous. Can you believe that? I was really surprised, but yes, we're entering into our 3rd year. Wow. It's been a ton of fun. So here we go. We're in the midst of it. And just as always, want to offer an enormous amount of gratitude to everyone who has contributed to Luminous over the years, for all of your generous sharing of gifts and of self and of your time. We appreciate it immensely. I couldn't do it without everybody's contributions. All righty. My Musings is a blog post I wrote this morning about what's been going on in my world with my Chihuahua Skippy. I'm not going to go through it all on the air, partly because my composure is still a little fragile around it, but I would invite you to read it when you have a chance. I should probably say it may be a bit of a trigger alert for anybody who has had a geriatric pet that's been struggling, or, we've all been through it from time to time, or most of us have, and we're at that time at my house. So you can read about it there if you would like to. I'm sure you'll find some of your own experiences within mine. I do want to tell you I still have my 12-month video reading posted. I'll run it until the end of the month. This is my reading where I will pull cards for 12 months and read them for you, let you know what I see coming for each month. I'll provide you with a channeled positive affirmation for you for each month and a crystal suggestion. So I've already done a bunch of these. I have a couple more on my plate this week to get cranked out, but I would love to do one for you if that is something that would be of benefit to you. I've been doing these for years, and some of you guys buy one every single year and reference back to it, and it's just a lot of fun. So the funnest part, though, is that it's a video reading. So I will make a video of me doing the work and send the link over to you so that you can watch it however many times you want to. It will be yours forever. So that is that. If you have any questions about that, reach out to me. I would love to help you out. All righty. Kai brought some suggestions about staying grounded that I thought were really, really helpful. She called it her grounding change-up. Some suggestions, some symptoms of being ungrounded: being clumsy, daydreaming that isn't fruitful, difficulty concentrating, dizziness, lightheadedness, or feeling spaced out, electromagnetic sensitivity, falling asleep while meditating, feeling tired, drained, lacking energy, and feeling unwell, feeling nervous, irritable, or overstimulated, and more. Are you finding yourself there? A lot of people are. We aren't very grounded right now. The earth is shaking a lot. The earth is burning. Tensions on the planet are extremely high. All of that is contributing to many of you, especially all of you empaths, to feel pretty ungrounded and out of sorts. So take a look at Kai's article. She's got some great suggestions for ways to stay a little more grounded. Let's see, a couple other things I wanted to point out in Luminous. I did want to remind you that we have a brand new contributor. She's not brand new. She's come back. This is Jamie Dawn. She wrote for Luminous for a long time and then took a break. And now she's back every week bringing us her Celestial Wisdom with Jamie Dawn. It's a video and it's awesome. So she says the theme ahead, the big week for manifestations, attracting our dreams, and out-of-the-box thinking. So be sure that you watch her video for more on that. And speaking of videos, Jennifer Dove brings us the Radiant Poem Project, and this week she has a brand new article with a lovely poem. I absolutely loved this, and it is I Have Arrived by Thich Nhat Hanh. I have no idea if that's the way you pronounce that, but it's awesome. So I hope that you have a chance to watch her read the poem or listen to her read the poem, watch her video, and read her article as well. Lots of good stuff in Luminous this week. But lastly, we have an entrance into Reader's Corner this week, and it is on page 20. It is a drawing by Renee Andrews, and it's awesome. So Renee, thank you so much for contributing. I am so happy to put it in here. It is a crow. You all know my relationship with crows. I can't get enough of them. I have a very deep connection to them. So I was so happy to receive this and have the opportunity to publish it. And as always, if you have a blog post, a piece of art, a poem, anything that you'd like me to consider for Luminous, send it over. Reader's Corner only works if you guys have interest in sending stuff to me. And if you don't, that's okay too, right? No pressure, but I would love to send it over. That is a fun part of the magazine. So there you have it. Those are a couple of things of interest in Luminous this week, but a lot of great articles. So don't hesitate to take a look. Lots of good stuff happening. So last week, we did not get to our full moon reading. So usually with the full moon, we pull a card out of the Fairy Tale Tarot and read the fairy tale that's attached. This has become a fun full moon tradition here on the Katie Weaver Show. But last week, it was Animal Communication Day. We also had that big blessing and meditation that we did for Australia and Puerto Rico, and we just couldn't get to it. So I promised that we'd do it this week, and I meant it. So that's the next thing I want to get to. We're not going to run out of time twice. This has been fun because I love hearing all of the tales. Some of them I've heard before, many of them I have not. I'm sure you guys feel the same, but it's fun. It's really fun to get to experience a new fairy tale and understand and fit it into the full moon, to understand the energy of the full moon. So I know we're a few days past the full moon, but we'll still be in this energy for a little bit. So it's still relevant, I think. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull a card out of the deck. There we go. Okay. It is the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, okay. Is this Rumpelstiltskin? It might be Rumpelstiltskin. I'll show you the card, you guys, in the chat or in the live stream. Now we'll look up the story. Sorry, I usually try to do this part before the show starts, but this morning it was not meant to be. All right. So we have two little boys. We have a shoe. One of them is sitting on a spool of thread that looks like it's made from gold, and he has scissors in his hands. I'm not sure. I think I'm Rumpelstiltskin because of the gold, but I might be totally wrong. I should quit guessing. Okay, Ace of Pentacles. Let's look it up in the book. You guys have any thoughts? Any guesses? Or maybe it's not a guess. Maybe you happen to know. Okay. I'll get the story found here and we'll take a peek. Here's the King of Pentacles. Let's see. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, the ace is at the end. Okay. Oh, it's not. It's right here. Okay. I was wrong. Let's see. Before I tell you, I'm going to look in the chat room and see if anybody said anything. Sometimes you guys probably know. All right. No. All right. It is the elves and the shoemaker. The culture of this fairy tale is German. The keywords are help and tangible gains. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a shoemaker who had fallen on hard times. He became so poor that he could not buy enough material to make shoes. That evening, he cut out the last bit of leather from his stock and placed the pattern on the table. His wife came to him. "You are a good, hard-working man," she said. "Come to bed and worry about making the shoes tomorrow." The shoemaker wiped a tear and followed her upstairs. The next morning he set out to cobble for the last time. But when he came to his work table, he cried out in delight. Instead of finding the cut leather, there stood a pair of exquisite shoes. As soon as he set them in the window, they sold. With the profits, he bought material for 4 more pairs of shoes. He cut out the patterns and laid them out before he retired for the evening. At the crack of dawn, the shoemaker quickly dressed and retrieved his tools with enthusiasm. It was a fine day if one had enough leather to make more shoes with. But instead of finding pieces of leather, there stood 4 pairs of shoes. The cobbler couldn't believe his eyes. So baffled was he to find these finely crafted gifts. Again, the shoes sold in no time, with profits going towards more leather. This went on for some time. The shoemaker's reputation for fine embroidery and sturdy stitching spread quickly, with customers arriving from miles around. Before long, the shoemaker could buy bundles of leather, feeling as though his money troubles were finally behind him. One evening, his wife suggested that they find out who it was that was bringing them such good fortune. So they hid behind a curtain in the corner and waited for the mysterious shoemakers to arrive. When the clock struck midnight, in bounded 2 elves dressed in worn undergarments, carrying their own elvish tools. So that's who they are, thought the shoemaker. They watched the diminutive beings stitch and sew with skill. All the while the elves whistled and seemed jovial as they labored the night away, their little hands never seeming to tire. Then, as quickly as they had come, they bounded off the table and sprang out the window. The cobbler's wife insisted that they do something for the hard-working elves. "Those poor sprites wear nothing but worn undergarments," said his wife. "I want to sew them shirts and pants and vests and socks." "And I'd like to make them a pair of useful, comfortable shoes," chimed in the cobbler. So the two set to task. They worked hard all through the day and into the night, until the last tiny elf-sized button was sewn into place. Instead of laying out leather, as the elves would have expected, the old couple gently placed their offerings on the table and tiptoed behind the curtain. When midnight struck, the elves ran in and leaped up on the table. But instead of finding leather, they found lovingly tailored outfits. They squealed with delight as they tried on their new garments. They broke into a jig and sang out with glee. Now that we're finely dressed, boys to see, cobblers we no need longer be. They hopped and skipped and twirled round until they became quite dizzy. And as the moon began to disappear behind the light of a dawning sun, the elves leapt out the window, never oh, pardon me. Sorry, guys. Never to be seen again. As for the cobbler, he became a superlative craftsman and lived many happy, prosperous years with his wife. Symbols and meaning. The moon basks the scene with its mysterious glow, illuminating the unseen through a window of the subconscious. The shutters have the ability to open or close these channels of psychic communication. The gold thread is symbolic of fate, destiny, and magic. The shoe is associated with freedom and humility. The scissors have the capacity to sever ties and therefore change destinies. The spherical buttons connect to the moon and stars. The elves are figments of the unconscious. They are symbolic of the wild, uninhibited spirit. Many opportunities for acquiring financial stability may present themselves to you. Now remember, that's the message for this week, right? For this full moon period. So I absolutely love it. Here we are, right? Great opportunities this next 2 weeks for manifesting, for unexpected money to come into your life, and for financial gains. There's a message behind this story, of course, of being generous, of having gratitude, and of networking and cooperating with those that could help you and that you could help. So I think the bigger message, or the most important message of this full moon and from our lovely little fairy tale is to be mindful of others and their assistance to you. Be grateful, be generous, and manifest like crazy. This is a super good time for it. So lots of good things in the works. So what a fun story. I loved that. That's really cute. I'll take that over Rumpelstiltskin. Maybe. I don't know. That'll come up next month probably. You know how it goes. Anyway, that was fun. So if you have any other interpretations or anything that you want to share, throw it up in the chat room. I would love to see what you think about that or what you have to say. Also, I would love to know if you have any experience in that so far in the full moon. Anybody have a windfall or a little extra gain or money show up you weren't expecting? Let's celebrate it. Remember that when you celebrate other people's success, you attract more of it in for yourself. It always makes sense to be happy for other people, to celebrate with other people when they have success in their world, because all you're doing is telling the universe that you approve of success. You approve of financial gain. You approve of people doing well. That's a strong message, right? That means I want that too. It's perfect. Okay, I wanted to drum today. I wanted to drum because we still have fires. We still have earthquakes in Puerto Rico, and we have volcanoes exploding all over the planet right now, erupting all over the planet. We are quite unsettled. We also have a world that's kind of standing on the precipice of keeping peace or the alternative. So I wanted to drum today for peace. I wanted to drum for Mother Earth to help bring calm to her. And I wanted to drum for you, for your root chakra, to help you to settle in, to get grounded, to stay grounded, to find peace within yourself. So I'm going to drum. All you guys have to do is close your eyes, relax, breathe with me, and allow the vibration of the drum to permeate your spirit, to permeate your root chakra and do its work. Some people, when drumming starts, they feel almost like they need to flee. It creates a bit of a fight or flight kind of energy. If that happens for you, do one of two things. If you got to go, you got to go, right? If you just can't roll with it, that's okay. I understand. But try to breathe through it and assure yourself that you are okay, and see if you can sit with it and move into a place where you can be comfortable with this frequency shaking you up and grounding you down. And if you'd like to, hold space with me for Australia, for Mother Earth herself, for Puerto Rico, and for all of the residents there, and for the earth there, and for all of the animals that have been affected in all of the natural disasters all over the world right now. Join me in that as well. All right, here we go. Well, if I can get my fingers set right here. Okay, there we go. Maybe I'm fighting this drum. Here we go. Good. That feels really good. Okay. Besides root chakra, that broke something wide open in my heart chakra, in my chest. Whew. Yeah. Kinga had added that in addition to all of the scandals of the world being revealed. Yeah, no kidding. Something else to add to our drumming. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, I hope that maybe that was for me. I hope that brought to you what you are seeking today as well. Okay. I want to take a look in the chat room. I promised some readings today, and I will make good on that. Julia said, glad to be able to catch you today. Happy New Year, everyone, and happy birthday and one son. Thank you. It's so fun because he's my only son, so he gets to just be the favorite son. Well, besides my dogs, and my kids are positive that my little Skippy actually is my favorite around here, and I'm not going to lie, he kind of is. Yep. Okay. Julia said, thank you for the clearing on my arm a couple of weeks ago. Much better right away. May I have a scan, please? Been feeling quite hypoglycemic lately. There is something shaky about you, isn't there? So we'll work on it in the energy body so that you can then work on it in the physical body, because obviously there's probably, I think you've already worked on this, but an adjustment in nutrition and electrolytes for you. So I'll let you work on that piece and I'll do the energetic bit. All right, Julia, I'm just tuning into you. It's right here. It's like not quite in your heart, but it's in your high heart. A real sense of, so yeah, it feels shaky. It almost feels nervous or anxious. Yeah, and emotional as hell. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to clear that. This is, all right. Follow me down the rabbit hole for just a minute here, Julia. This is on the spiritual level, at least. It's a past life thing coming to the surface. You have a past life that affected you about the same age that you are now, that you had an extremely traumatic event. And for whatever reason, it's erupting from you right now. That happens sometimes, that the age that you were in a life where something extreme happened, sometimes that cellular memory follows through in, how do you say, like the spiritual fabric memory. I can't call it cellular. It's not, but it's a similar concept. But anyway, there is a trauma that's like erupting from you in your high heart to narrow that down. So I'm just going to clear it. And then just a big reminder to you, do we need to talk about what it was? Okay, my guidance is saying no, that we don't really need to tell the whole story, that would really probably not do you any good. If you want me to channel what this trauma was, I will for you. My guidance is saying it's not important to tell you the story, that it might actually do more harm than good. We want to just let it go. But if curiosity killed the cat and you want to know, I will. I'll do that for you if you want, but that's what I'm hearing. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to go ahead and pull the plug on this. I'm going to remove it from your high heart. I'm just asking that the energies surrounding this past life and the trauma therein be healed and cleared and rendered neutral and inert in all directions of time now, through every cell of your physical body, every layer of your emotional body, and every fiber of your spirit body now. Good. That broke it loose. Yeah, that anxious feeling right here, like melted. So excellent. All right, let me just put a little light all the way around you, Julia, while we're at it. I always feel like it's worth it while we're here to just give you a little boost anyway. There we go. Lots of light. Okay. All right. So now you, on the physical side of that, if you continue to have that hypoglycemic stuff, of course, you will follow up with your doctor and take care of that on your own, right? Because that's what we do. But the spiritual aspect is dealt with now. So good. Ay caramba. Okay. Kinga says she felt that drumming in her heart as well. Yeah, that was big, wasn't it? It was good. I feel like we're going to be doing quite a bit more of that for the next little while, like group healing work, like we did last week. I think that it's just going to keep coming up as something that we really need to do. And hey, who are we to not do what we should to help, right? We're going to keep adding our pebbles to the pond. We're going to keep creating a paradigm shift by bringing a whole lot of love and heart to the table, because that's what we can do. Okay. Jean says, may I please have an energy clearing to remove attachments? Yeah, Jean, here's what I want to do. I want to do a Merkaba clearing for you. I feel like, oh, Maureen said that was right in her heart as well. Boom. Maureen also won $220 off a 2020 scratch ticket. Hell yeah. Way to go. Okay, sorry, Jean. Back to Jean. I get so distracted. All right, here we go. So before I get started, here's what I want to do. I want to do a Merkaba clearing using sacred geometry to really clear out and remove any cords, attachments, just any energetic influence or sludge that might be holding you down. I just feel like your frequency has been kind of low lately, regardless of your attempts to raise yourself back up. So let's clean your slate so that you have an opportunity to just rebuild your frequency without all of these other influences pulling you down. So that's the plan. All right, so I'm going to join you now, Jean. Commanding a Merkaba clearing, commanding billions of many points of light to flood your system now, completely healing, clearing, and releasing any and all energies that could be holding you down or holding you back. Any attachments, cords, connections, or other energetic sludge that could be contributing to you to be feeling off, wrong, out of sorts, out of place, or low. Commanding any other energetic debris that could be getting in your way to be healed and cleared and rendered neutral and inert in all directions of time now through every cell of your physical body, every layer of your emotional body, and every fiber of your spirit body now. I'm just watching that play out. So if you guys could see this, it looks like billions of tiny little flashes of blue light, like little vortexes, just racing through every cell, every layer, every fiber, doing the clearing that we commanded. So this will work from your feet clear to your head. Jean, I'm starting to feel quite a lot of pressure in my throat. That's normal. You're probably feeling it too. We are starting low and pushing everything up, and so sometimes you will get some pressure in the upper three, and I'm really getting that right now. So don't worry, though. That'll go away as we get there. So good. Moving through your root. And you do have some things coming out here. So good. Moving through your root, my hips are shifting. I feel something particularly in the right hip that's being released. So that's good. All the way up through the sacral. A nice shift here that is going to open you up to feel more joyful and more open, less closed in and unwilling to be a little more open and vulnerable. So it's opening you up a little bit. All right, solar plexus. Yeah, big boost here. Solar plexus balancing, coming into alignment. There is a big clearing that just moved through your solar plexus here, Jean, that I think that your self-esteem has suffered the last year or so. And well, yeah, much more than that, but particularly you'd fought yourself into a pretty good place and your self-esteem has suffered. So we're doing a big clearing through that end or that angle. All right, and up through your heart. Oh, big clearing there. Sometimes when that energy moves like that, it moves through me and makes me yawn. I don't know why. I've been like that for a long time. So I'm not tired and I'm not disinterested. It's just the way it moves through me. All right, up through your throat. A lot of energy cleared across your high heart. That's where you had a lot of little cords and connections to other people that were just holding on to you. It's kind of leechy kind of energy. So good to see that gone. That's going to help you get your frequency up a lot. Just that. All right, good in your throat. Good clearing happening here. Releasing a lot of unspoken stuff. This is when people are just mean to you and they're just cruel for no reason. You know, when someone's rude to you on the road, or the clerk at the bank is snappy, or times like that where there's no reason to be unkind or rude, that you sometimes experience that and it gets stuck in your throat because you don't respond, because you don't know how to respond. And then that response that forms later just sits in your throat. So I'm just getting rid of those right now because you sure don't need any more of that. All right, all the way up. Big release here in your jaw and the back of your neck. That's where you carry quite a bit of tension and stress. All right, moving all the way through your third eye. Good. Good clearing here. That's good. That gives you a great opportunity to trust yourself more and experience your intuition more. And all the way through your crown. Good balance here. Your crown was too big, Jean. Some of that overthinking going on has been a part of the lower frequency business. All right, good. Several attachments cleared from your back as well. So lots of big stuff here. Good work. All right, let's go back now and command a Merkaba blessing. So starting at your feet, commanding billions of many points of light to flood your system now, completely shifting your frequency to a deep inner knowledge that all is well, to a feeling of confidence, of peace, of joy, and well-being, commanding these frequencies to shift through every cell of your physical body, every layer of your emotional body, and every fiber of your spirit body now. Good. And as always, the blessing is so much quicker than the clearing. So moving clear to the top of your head. Oh, Jean. Perfect. You are going to feel just about a billion times better. So let me know if I can support you in any other way, but that's a big piece of work that should make a really nice difference. Wonderful. I love it. Okay. All righty. Okay. Julia said, thank you so much. I'm ready to leave the past behind and rejoice in the healing. Heck yeah, right? So grateful for you, One Two Radio, and your sharing of your gifts to so many. Infinite love. Thank you, Julia. Thank you so much for that. Okay, let's see. We don't have a lot of time left, but maybe I can grab something real quick. Let's see. Oh, that's funny. Rebecca said she just watched a lot of Quantum Leap episodes, and Rumpelstiltskin was the word to break the evil and later good Quantum Leaper out of hypnosis. How funny. I'm sure it's a safe word somewhere as well. Oh, I love it. Okay. Christine would love a quick scan. She said she feels like she has an attachment. Christine, you do, and it is in your back, right below your shoulder blades. This has to do with your family. It's a family member that has some frustration. I don't know that they even meant to really, like, it's not a conscious attack. It's a thought form kind of attachment. Feels like there might be some frustration over family matters. It's not it is frustration, but it's born in miscommunication or a lack of understanding, not on your part, on someone else's. So let's go ahead and clear this. This is a very wounded person. So I'm going to heal it with love, return it to them. Heal that in your back. Good. And let's just ground you as well, Christine. That is always something that is necessary for you, I know, and helpful. Good. Well, who knew it was going to be energy work hour? We don't know. We just do what we're told, right? Okay. Well, you guys, we've done what we do. We've definitely talked down to the end of the show. I want to thank you all for being here. I want to let you know that you can find me over at 12Listen for the rest of the day and evening. If I can help you in any way, that is the way to connect with me. And I would love to work with you. So you're going to find me on Friday. It's a live week for Strange Phenomena and Mysteries with myself, Kai, and Raven. And then, of course, I'll be back here on Monday for 1-2 News. So lots more good things happening. Thank you all for being here. You've been listening to The Katie Weaver Show here on 1-2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.